Alright ladies, let's be brutally honest for a second pull. But they're not that simple, yes? They are visual. Yes, they are tactile. Yes, they have those primal, caveman-level instincts that light up at the sight of a certain curve or the brush of a fingertip. But if you really want to get a man so turned on that he's thinking about you hours later, if you want him restless, distracted, unable to focus but his brain keeps replaying you, then you have to go deeper than the obvious. See, most women make one of two mistakes. Either they come on too strong, too fast, giving everything away before his imagination even has a chance to get involved, or they do nothing at all, thinking that if he's attracted to them, that should be enough. But attraction is like fire. You can't just light it once and walk away. You have to tend to it, feed it, and sometimes fan the flame slowly so it becomes something he aches for. Today, I'm giving you something most women will never have. A map of D8 moons be able to resist. These aren't just physical tricks. These are psychological hooks, designed to make his body rack, but his brain can even catch up. Do these right, and he will not only want you, he'll crave you. Move Hashudin, the slow, interrupted touch. Think about the last time you touched someone in a way that wasn't just a touch. Either there's casual touch, brushing a crumb off someone's shirt, giving a quick hug, and then there's charged touch. This move is about making him feel something without being obvious. Next time you're sitting next to him, let your fingers rest lightly on his thumb or even his lower back. Then, without rushing, trace slow, lazy shape circles, figure eights what comes naturally. Here's the important part. After a few seconds, stop. Pull your hand away like you suddenly remembered something you had to do. The interruption is everything. You've just triggered his curiosity, his desire, and his frustration all at once. He'll be thinking, oh, why did she stop? If she hadn't, and now you've planted a loop in his mind that keeps replaying. Move Hashdwa. The whispered tease, this is where you bypass his eyes and go straight to his ears. And trust me, men are very sensitive here. The secret isn't just in what you whisper, it's how. Lean in close, your lips barely graze the curve of his ear, and speak softly enough that he has to lean toward you to catch every word. Now, you don't have to be graphic. In fact, sometimes it's better if you're not. You could say something as simple as you smell so good right now, or that you have no idea what I'm thinking. His imagination will do the rest, and it will it better than you ever could. Pair that with your breath warming his skin, and you've just created a sensory memory he replay every time he's near you. Move #3. The eye contact lingers too long. We underestimate how powerful eye contact can be because it's so simple. But ladies, the right look at the right time is one of the most arousing things you can do. Here's the trick. Don't just hold his gaze. Let linger one beat longer than feels normal. Then, and this is crucial, let your eyes flicker down to his lips for half a second before looking back into his eyes. That micro movement tells him without words, I'm thinking about kissing you. You've now created a silent conversation that his body will answer with every nerve ending. Move #Chutiri. The innocent but innocent stretch. Men notice everything, especially when it involves the outline of your body. This move works best when it feels casual, not staged. You're sitting next to him on the couch, maybe watching a movie, and you lift your arms in a long, slow stretch. Your back arches slightly, your shirt pulls just enough to outline your figure, and you let a soft sigh. You didn't mean for him to notice, but of course, he does, and that's the point. When a man feels like he's catching a glimpse of something unplanned, it's 10 times more exciting than if you just put it on display. Move #Pat. The playful obstruction, this one taps into something primal, and closeness. When you're standing near him, casually place your hand on the wall beside him or rest it lightly against his chest while you talk. You've now subtly entered his personal space in a way that's both playful and dominant. You're not asking for permission, you're claiming your spot. And that confidence is wildly attractive. It makes him hyper-aware of every inch between you, or rather the lack it. Now, here's the thing. These first moves are all about tease. They are appetizers. You're not throwing the main course at him all at once. You're creating moments that he'll replay over and over. Moments that will make him think, for what's next there? And when a man is wondering what's next, you've already won half the game. Alright, so you've set the scene. You've dropped those tiny little bombs of tension into his system with the slow touches, the whispers, the lingering eyes. By now, if you've done it right, you'll notice subtle shifts in him. The way his body turns slightly more toward you when you talked, how his eyes flicker to your mouth without even realizing it, how he suddenly seems a little more distracted when you're around. That's the signal. That's when we move from tease into temptation. And temptation is not about throwing yourself at him. It's about making him feel like he's falling slowly, helplessly, into wanting you more than he can stand. Here's how you do it. Move hashisti, the glancing, brushing, you're walking past him, the kitchen, the hallway, even at a party. You don't stop, don't linger. You simply let your hand, your hip, or your shoulder grazes as you go by. This isn't an accident, but it has to feel like one. The casual nature is the magic here. Because when something feels accidental, his body reacts before his brain does. It's that instant jolt, a little lightning bolt that wakes up every nerve endings. And because it's so quick, his mind is left chasing it, want it to happen again. Move sim. The half smile challenge. Men love a little bit of mystery. And nothing says I know something you don't, like the half smile. Technique. You're in conversation, maybe he says something cheeky or flirty, and instead of reacting fully, you just let the corner of your mouth curve in a knowing smile. Hold his gaze for a second, then look away, as if you've just decided to keep the rest of that thought to yourself. This tiny act turns into a mental puzzle for him. But what's she thinking? Is she teasing me? Does she know how much I want her right now? And trust me, he'll want to find out. Move visum. The pause for the kiss, let's be honest. Kissing is an art form, and anticipation is the most powerful brushstroke you can use. The next time you're leaning in, instead of closing that gap right away, pause. Let your lips hover just close enough that they can feel each other's breath. Maybe even let your nose brush his. Hold that moment for a beat longer than feels natural. You'll feel the tension crackle between you. By the time you finally let your lips touch, it will hit him like a wave. This single pause can make a kiss unforgettable and make him replay in his head again and again. Move divyat. Though, by the way, compliments are great, but they are even more potent when they are unexpected and delivered as an afterthought. You could be walking out the door, and as you pass by him, you drop something like, by the way, you look ridiculously hot in that shirt today. You keep walking and pause for reaction. No waiting for a thank you. That sudden, almost throwaway delivery makes the compliment feel raw and genuine, and because you didn't linger, it leaves him turning it over in his head, savoring it privately. Move decide. The "I'll come closer" look words aren't always necessary. Sometimes you can tell a man exactly what you want to do without saying a thing. This move is all about your eyes. You lock your gaze on his till your chin down just slightly and soften your expression, then let your lips part ever so slightly. It's an unspoken invitation, and his body will read it loud and clear. You've now put the ball in his court, and trust me, he'll take shot. Now, ladies, I need you to understand something important here. These moves are not about manipulation, they're about connections. They work because they awaken that part of a man that's both primal and deeply emotional. You're not just making him you physically, you're making him feel something. And when a man feels something, when he associates those feelings with you, that's when attraction turns into obsession. Think about it like this: the most irresistible women are the ones who know how to create moments. Not big, flashy moments, but small, intimate ones that feel almost like secrets between you. A look no else sees, a touch no else gets, a comment only for his ears. These things build a private world between you, and men, even the most macho, alpha ones, crave that more than they will ever admit. So here's what's going to happen next. In the next part of this speech, I'm going to take you into the territory most women never dare to go. The bold moves, the ones that require a little more confidence, a little more daring, but pay off in a way that will leave him thinking about you every time he's alone. These are the moves that man's body betray him in the best possible way. Moves don't just turn him on in the moment, but make him stay turned on just by remembering you. Getty, because this is where things get fun and a little dangerous. Alright, so far you've been playing in the sweet spot, been teasing and tempting. You've planted those little moments in his mind, and now he's primed. But this is the point where most women freeze. They think, well, if I push further, will I look forward? Will it ruin the mystery? Here's the truth. Mystery isn't about holding everything back. It's about revealing just enough to keep his imagination racing, while giving him moments so intense they burn into his memories. And that's where these bold moves come in. These are the moves that flip the script, where you take the lead for a moment, not in an aggressive way, in a way that says, I know what I want, and right now it's you. A mention of confidence and sensuality is toxicing to men. Move dinat side. The hand placement that speaks volumes. Here's something women underestimate. Where you touch him matters just as much as how. Instead, the obvious places, try resting your hand lightly on the small of his back when you walk past him, or on his thigh when you're sitting next to him. These touches are subtle enough to feel intimate without being overt, but they send a very clear message to his body. The small of the back, especially, is loaded with subconscious meaning. It's protective, possessive, and deeply primal. You're telling him without words, but like being close to you. Your mind right now. Move #Vienadzeit. The lip drag, this one is lethal, and you have to save it for the right moment. You're kissing him, and just before you pull away, you let your teeth graze his lower lip, then slowly let it slip from between your lips. That tiny resurrection his nervous system. It's playful, a little daring, undeniably erotic. And here's the beauty. It's over in a second, but the effect lingers. He'll remember that sensation hours later. Move #Trinadzeit. The whispered gesture, you're close enough that your lips are near his ear. You lower your voice, soften your tones, and say something that makes his mind race. It doesn't have to be explicit. In fact, it's better if it's not. Something like, I've been thinking about you all day, or if you knew was imagining right now. The magic is in letting him fill in the blanks. A man's imagination, when guided just enough, will take him exactly where you want to go. Move #Turnoutside. The slow pull away instead of ending physical contact abruptly. Try slowing it down. When you step back from a hug, let your hands trail along his arms or chest as you move away. When you finish a kiss, don't just turn your head, linger for a heartbeat, then pull back slowly, keeping your eyes on his. This creates the illusion that leaving him is the hardest you've had to do all day, and it makes him crave the moment you'll close that space again. Move #Piazzeit. The playful rejection. This is an advanced move, but it works magic when done right. Imagine he's leaning in for a kiss or a hug, and you place your hand gently on his chest to stop him, but you're smiling. You say something like, "Oh, not yet. I'm not done making you wait." And then you walk away. This triggers a mix of desire and anticipation that's almost unbearable. The next time you let him in, he'll be twice as passionate because you've built that tension. Now, you might be wondering, why do these bold moves work so well? It's because they create contrast. Men are used to chasing. They expect to be the one initiating the physical escalations, but when you flip that script, even for a moment, you jar out of autopilot. You make him see you differently. You're not just someone who responds to his advances, you're someone who knows how to create the moment herself. And here's where the emotional layer comes in. Because without it, these moves are just tricks. The reason they hit so deeply is because they paired with genuine connection. You're not palming, you're expressing how you feel in that moment. The authenticity is what makes it addictive. Think about the last time someone surprised you with a gesture that felt both and unexpected. It sticks with you, right? That's what we're doing here, creating moments that will stick in his mind so vividly that even when you're not around, he feels your presence. But we're not done yet. In the final part of this speech, I'm going to take you into the closer moves. These are the ones that seal the deal, that take all the tension you've built and turn it into a full-on, unforgettable experience that leaves him thinking, no else has ever made me feel like this. So if you're ready for the final stage, hold on, because this is where we take everything you've learned so far and light it on fire. So far you've taken him on a journey. You've teased him with anticipation, drawn him in with sensual energy, and flipped the script with bold, confident moves. Now we're entering the final stage, the closer moves is. These are the moments that lock him in so completely. He'll think about them when he's falling asleep, when he's in the middle of work, even when he's talking to someone else. And here's the key. These moves aren't just physical, they are emotional trigger wrapped in physical contact. When you blend the two, you beyond turning him on, you make him feel something about you that no one else can replicate. That's where real power lies. Moves. The breath control kiss is one you may have never consciously thought about. Controlling the rhythm of your breathing during a kiss. Most people just breathe naturally, but when you sync your breath with his, then slowly change the pace, it creates a deeply primal connection. Try starting slow, matching his breathing, then slightly quicken yours. It subtly raises his heartbeat without him even knowing why. Is the kind of kiss that makes time disappear. Move #Simnatzeit. The neck pause. The neck is one of the most sensitive and underused areas in seduction. When you're kissing, pull away just enough to let lips hover over his neck. Let breath warm his skin for a second, then give a soft, low kiss there. Maybe even a gentle graze with your teeth. That pause before you touch him is what makes his anticipation explode. The neck is loaded with nerve endings. This is not just a kiss, it's a jolt to his whole system. Move #visinnatside. The eye-clock laughter, an intimate moment, whether it's a kiss, a touch, or even a shared laugh, hold his gaze for just a second longer than feels comfortable. Don't say anything. Just look at him like he's the only person in the world. This isn't about being sultry, it's about being present. That kind of divided attention is magnetic. It tells him you're not just in his arms, you're in the moment with him fully. Move #outside. The voice drop men to tone more than words in moments of intimacy. When you're close, lower your voice just a little, slow your speech, and soften your tone. You could be telling him you like his shirt, and if your voice is low, warm, and intimate, it'll feel like you just whispered a fantasy in his ear. Combine this with name, saying his name softly in that moment makes it personal. Move #vadside. The "don't forget me" touch this is the one you use when you're parting ways. Maybe you're saying goodbye for the night. Instead of a simple hug or kiss, place your hand on his chest, look in his eyes, and let your fingers slowly trail away as you step back. It's like leaving a physical reminder of yourself on his skin. He'll carry that sensation with him and it will pull back toward you long after you've gone. Now, here's the deeper I want you to remember. None of these moves are about manipulation. They are about awareness. They are about understanding how men respond not just physical touch, but to energy, presence, and intentions. When you use these moves authenticity, when you genuinely feel the connection you're creating, they become powerful because they are real. A man can tell you're forming for him versus when you're expressing genuine desire. And genuine desire is irresistible. But let's also talk about why these moves work so well. Men are wired to respond to novelty, to things that break the pattern of what they expect. If he's used to kisses always starting the same way, change the rhythms. If he's used to you, let him initiate every intimate moment. Surprise him by taking the lead for seconds. That unpredictability is intoxicating. It's the same reason people remember their first kiss or unexpected romantic gesture years later. Our brains cling to moments that feel different, that jolt us out of the ordinary. When you make those moments happen, deliberately, but naturally, you're not just turning him on, you're imprinting yourself into his memory. And I'll be honest, when you master this, you're going to see something shift in the way he looks at you. It's not just lust, although that will be there. It's the deeper, almost reverent attraction, the kind where he feels like you purgate him in a way no else does. And when a man feels that, he doesn't just want your body, he craves your presence. Now, before I close, let me give you final piece of advice. Use the moves sparingly. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the fastest way to dull their power is to make them routines. The reason they work is because they stand out. They break patterns. If you use the same on closer every single time, it becomes the pattern. So keep him guessing. Let him wonder, but what is she going to do next? That curiosity is the kindling that keeps the fire alive. And one last thing, if you've been listening and thinking, this sounds amazing, but my relationship feels too flat, too disconnected for it to work, I wanted to tell you this. Connection can be reignited. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you felt that spark. It's not gone. It's just buried under routine, stress, and familiarities. These moves not just for the bedroom, they are reminders to play, to flirt, see each other not just as partners, but as lovers again. So try one night. Don't overthink it. Just pick one. May the lip drag, maybe the whispered suggestion, maybe the "don't forget me" touch, and watch what happens. Pay attention to his eyes. Pay attention to how his body language changes. That's your feedback. That's your proof you're awakening something in him. And if you want more moments like that, well, you're in the right place, because my whole mission here is to help you create a relationship that feels electric, not just the start, but years in. So if this video has given you even YD you're excited to try, do me a favor, hit that like button, because it tells me to make more content like this for you. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you never miss the next set of tools and strategies to keep your relationship passionate and connected. And share this with a friend you know could use a little spark in her love life. Because trust me, we are just getting started.